Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? Welcome back to Boulder Canyon here in Farming Simulator 19. We are just doing a little bit of stump grinding, although we're not actually going to do very much stump grinding because I would like to get going with the mowing. I would like to do quite a bit of mowing today, but I thought, well, I will just have a little bit of a look around for some tree stumps because it'd be nice to get some going. And it's made such a huge difference to the overall performance being able to use this one with the bigger engine. The bigger engine has really made a massive difference to absolutely everything on here. It is wonderful, it is amazing. I am very impressed with it. So we will be doing well, let's say we will be doing more stuff with the bigger engine. Yeah, we won't be reverting back to the smaller engine, I can tell you that for nothing. And we've got a lot of stuff that we want to get done with it. I'm only going to do just a few more. I'm just going to do these, and then we'll get straight on with the mowing and stuff. I have altered our wrapper over there. I'm hoping it works. I haven't had a chance to test it, so it may go horribly wrong. It may not. We'll have to wait and see. Hopefully it won't. I'm really hoping that it doesn't go horribly wrong. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave that one right there. So we've done a little bit of stump grinding, and you can, if you look into the distance over there, you can see we've got quite a few stumps that we're going to need to go and gather up, but we're not going to worry about any of them right now. What we're going to do right now is we're going to race down here. It doesn't look like there's any tree stumps down this side. We're going to get that little mower over there, and we're going to start mowing our field. It is ready to harvest now. It's got 2 growth stages on it, 2 harvest stages, I should say. If you remember, we go into here, and then we go there, and we've got 2 harvest stages on there, which means that that is the maximum yield that we can get from a grass field. So just back round a bit. There we go. Perfect. Like that. And then we start racing up across here like this. And you can see that we're going to struggle to sort of get right to the very edge of it because of where that rock is. And, I mean, ordinarily when you work a field, you would do the outside round like this. Right? You go into the field and you'd drive around the outside round of the field, like I'm doing right here. And then you would turn the mower around, you'd drive the tractor around the other way. But you would normally do that right at the end. You wouldn't do that part way through, you do that right at the end. So you go and get the rest of the field done, and then you go back round at the very end, and you do the outside round of the field. And what this does is it lets you do all of the fields, most of the fields, without having to risk damaging your tractor. And then at the very end you go round the very outside edge where you're most likely to get sticks, stones, things like that being caught up in the tractor, and also you get the lowest yield around the very outside edge. And if you leave, which is why you want to drive on that bit, and if you go immediately round the outside edge, going in, you obviously go in the opposite direction, so it does lift it up. And then driving on the grass, very often you will find that you don't mow it quite as well as you could. It's going to leave stuff like squashed down into the ground. And if you go and mow the rest of the field first, and then you go and you complete the outside round last, it gives the grass a little bit of time to recover and just stand itself back upright again, which is a good thing. That's kind of what you want it to do, if at all possible. However, this isn't real life, so we don't need to worry about things like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn around, and we're immediately going to do the outside round of the field as well. And you can see there is quite a crop of grass on here, and it's definitely a thicker crop of grass here than the last time we cut the fields, although we didn't have it fertilized or anything like that. So the fertilizer on here is definitely going to have made a difference, which is absolutely fantastic. We'll bring that up through here. gonna try and keep it in a little bit if I can. I don't want the grass going out too far towards the edge, because the last thing we want is for it to go on to what's classed as our neighbour's land, and then it's not going to let us pick up. Now, we know that the boundary of the field is actually further inside, back down near our farm, but up here, it looks like the boundary of the field does go out into the road a little bit, that's actually better for us. As long as the boundary stays like that, that's much, much better for us. It means that we don't lose as much land, and we're not going to be left with bits like on the very edge of the road that we can't pick up, which, quite honestly, would be very, very irritating for me. Okay, let's go racing up through here, and we can go over the edge of the field ever so slightly here. It's not going to make any difference whatsoever. Run down through here, and then we will about face and immediately start running up and down. Actually, I'll do once more around the edge of the field myself. I will do once more manually around the edge of the field, right the way round the whole outside edge, and then we will get the hired help going. And I'm not quite sure what direction the hired help is going to go. That's going to be, because it's not going to go in line with the edge here, because I don't believe this map has got multi-angle terrain on it. So we're going to have to go with whatever angle the game decides is going to be most suitable for it. But I do want to have hired help going on here. Definitely want to get that going. And then we'll get the rake in, and we'll rake a round around the outside edge, and then we'll go and bale that round up. And after we've baled that up, and then we've cleared the bales away off the field, then we'll go and we'll use hired help, and we'll do the rest of the field. We'll put hired help on the rake, and then we'll follow along behind on the baler, and do sort of the rest of it all in one go. But by removing the outside round, it'll just make it a little bit easier for us, I think. And I don't have an auto-load trailer. I've been toying with... Well, I've been trying to decide what auto-load I should use for doing it, and I'm sure that there are 1 or 2 auto-load trailers actually now on Mod Hub, but I just don't know which ones they are, and I haven't actually had time to go and check them. I have gone and, like I think, well, yeah, I'm pretty sure I said, I've sped up the wrapping speed on the wrapper. Yeah, I did say. I've just not tested it yet, so that could be, it could be something that's quite successful. On the other hand, it could be a total and an absolute disaster for us. I don't really know. Now, that direction there, I suspect, looking at the mini-map, because normally you've got straight up and down. So we're going to need to find the right angle for hired help, which is going to be something like that. That's going to be a hired help angle. So what I'll do is I'll bring this one up here, and I'm going to put it just slightly into the grass right there, and then I'm going to press H, like that, and we'll see. Yes, that is the angle. So it's off the angle of the farm that we've got, which is a little bit of a shame. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to back that one up, lower it down, and we'll cut this piece here, like that. And then we'll join that back up with roughly where it was going just now. And we'll see how the hired help copes. I've been looking forward to this. We've got the hired help housing here. We've got everything ready now for hired help. So that one's going to drop down there. That's the line that it's going to take. And we could always try and make our fields more compatible with hired help by changing everything round on them. And making the straight lines in line with where the hired help is going there. So we kind of bring it off the boulder and make this field here a little bit bigger. Just bring that line there, and then the next field up, we have the lower edge of that one. We could do it. But I don't think we need to do that. I don't think that's something that we need to worry about. Like, I'd like to have hired help being used, and I am going to be using hired help on the map. But having the hired help work the fields at a slight angle, I don't think that's going to be a major problem. Right? We'll, later on when we're doing more fields, we'll be able to shape them so that they're a little bit more compatible to it. But I mean, this one here I think is kind of a funny shape there. And then I was actually considering making a big field up here. This would be like our next project would be to take everything down on this side over here and remove that as a field. That could be quite cool. But we'll worry about that later on when we get closer to the time. So that one's going to just keep doing this. While we'll watch it a little bit more. There we go, look at this. I mean, yes, he is driving on the grass at the moment, which you don't really want it to do, but we know that hired help in this game is a little bit limited. He's not going to be able to take out swaths of the field, which is a bit unfortunate. At least he is doing the mowing. That is the main thing here. He is at least doing the mowing, and he's doing a good job of mowing as well. We cannot fault him for that. He's getting every blade of grass and taking it down. Can't fault him for that. But what we might do is we might go and get the rake onto the other tractor and start pulling that one around the field just to see how it gets on. We'll watch that one a minute. There he goes, coming up through. He's doing a really good job, actually. I'm going to do this a minute. Well, it's a bit late now. I'm actually quite pleased with this. I was going to try and take my screen. I'll do the screenshot when it comes back up the other way. We will have the mower on the screen. Ooh, actually, I know what we might do. We'll follow this one down till he gets to the other end, and then we'll go and get the rake onto the tractor, and we'll have a look at that as well. And then I'll make my decision. I might actually have my screenshot for the end of the week being the other tractor pulling the rake rather than this one pulling the mower. I could do either. Right now, it's all up in the air, yet to be decided. You will probably know by the time you're watching this video. I'm guessing you will already know what I decided to do. That one's doing a grand job up there. So we will start this bad boy up, and we'll leave that one right there. And let's bring you over. Where's my... Oh, there's the rake. See, I've got no idea yet if this one will even pull that rake. It may decide that it's not got the horsepower to deal with the rake, in which case that's going to kind of mess up my plans, because I wanted this tractor to be able to do the raking, and then that tractor over there to be able to do the other stuff. So we can fold that one out. I might be alright. He might be able to cope with it. I'm hoping he can. It's quite a big rake, but it's not like a hugely powerful rake, though, is it? I'm not entirely sure what's going on with that hitch, though. Right, that doesn't seem quite right, that hitch that we've got right there. There's something missing. Can't quite put my finger on it, but there seems to be something missing. We've got it lowered down. It does work. Right, we will head on up this way, and we can rake. We can at least rake with this tractor and the rake. We know now that this works. That's absolutely fantastic. So we will do once around the edge like this, and then we'll leave the rest until after we've gone round with the baler and gone once around the edge with the baler. A couple of the bales we will bring back and feed to the sheep, although I'm just wondering how much we should feed to the sheep. Because obviously we're going to... Well, no, we're going to get... Now, this is the question, isn't it? Because we're going to be getting quite a bit of money from the bales. So we get a reasonable bit of money from the bales. And we've also got the money that we've got right now. I suppose we could spend all of the money we've got on sheep right now, and then we get more money coming in for new stuff with the bales, and then we don't go and spend all of that on the sheep. But that way we know how many sheep we're going to have, and then we can decide how many bales we put in for them. We load them right up with grass, and then the rest of the bales that we get, those are the ones that we sell. That might be the best way to approach this, I think, because obviously if we try and sell too many bales, we're then going to be short of grass. I mean, we could also just go and use some of the grass that's available up there, right in front of us. We don't have to go and use the grass off of this field. We've got multiple options. I would just prefer to do it like this, I think. I think it would be a better option. Right. I'm going to fold you up. I don't need to fold you up, technically, but I'm going to do it anyway. And I'm just going to park you over there. Stop you there. And we're going to come back over. So we just need that one now to finish. So while we're waiting for that one, we will watch some more mowing in a minute. But while we're waiting for that one, we're going to go over this way and we're going to buy more sheep. So right now, in our sheep field, let's go and have a look at that one. Right there, we've got 1,200 litres on there. We've got 3,000 litres of wool already. 10,000 litre pallets, those are. So those are going to fill up nice and fast. And we can sell 10,000 at a time, can't we? How much are we going to get for silage at the moment? Silage prices are 222. That's not actually that good. Silage prices are down, but as far as I'm concerned with silage, we sell it straight off the field. Wool is also, I think wool is low. 873, I think that's low. It might be prudent for us to go and get a couple more pallets of wool, and then we sell like 3 or 4 pallets at once. Not quite sure about that, but anyway, first thing that we want to do is we've got brown sheep in here, so we will buy more brown sheep at 15. Well, actually, they're not 1,500 apiece, are they? They are not 1,500 apiece. I go back into here again. Brown sheep right there, and move. You press enter. There's 1,600 apiece because we've got to pay a $100 moving fee as well. So $1,600 apiece. I've got 48,000 at the moment. 48,000 exactly. That's going to leave us $145. So confirm that. We have just spent 45,000 on new livestock and $30,000 on some other stuff as well. So then if I go and have a look in here, we've hardly got anything at all in the way of food, but we've got 41 sheep. 41 sheep is very, very nice. That is absolutely spectacular and awesome. And that means that the wool production is going to be coming on very, very nicely. It is going to produce wool quite quickly now. So we're going to go back up here and we're going to watch this one a little bit more. We've almost finished, actually, and then we can go and get our baler. And we'll be able to start baling up this field. That's something that I'm really looking forward to doing, actually, is getting back in the baler. But the main reason I'm looking forward to doing it on this time is because I'm very, very curious about how much we're going to get. What is our yield going to be off of this field? And the other great thing about doing grass is we don't have to worry about lime. We don't have to worry about weeds. We don't have to worry about ploughing. All of those things, it doesn't matter in the slightest. It does not affect yield. The only thing we've got to worry about is fertilizer. And you've only got to apply 1 coat of fertilizer on the field to have it all done anyway. So grass is a really, really good thing to be starting off with, which is why sheep are such a great thing to be starting off with as well. You've got a ploughed fields, or you've got a field, you don't have to worry about the periodic ploughing, you don't have to worry about anything other than getting 1 coat of fertilizer on in between harvests. That's it, just 1 layer of fertilizer to get the maximum grass yield. It's very simple, it's very straightforward, which is why I'm not even going to bother messing around cutting the grass up there on that field. We're going to remove all the stumps as rapidly as possible and get straight in and plough it up. As soon as that one's ploughed up, we'll be able to start using that as a new field. The other thing that I was actually considering was changing this round a bit and just extending the field. Right, I was seriously considering just having that rock as an island in the middle of the field and doing just turning this into 1 big field rather than trying to run it as 2 separate fields. Just extend it out and have 1 big field all the way round. So I'm not sure about that, but get into the comment section, because obviously we're not going to be able to start making our field in today's episode. We're simply not going to have enough time to do that. Get into the comment section and let me know what you think of the idea of doing that. Do you think we should do this, the original plan, which was separate fields here, sort of separate small fields. We're going to have one that will go up beside the rock there. We'll keep it separate from this one down here. That was the original plan. And all that area that we've marked out up there, that we've now cut out, we've just got to remove the stumps. Or should I have this as one big field? Just extend it right out, go over near the hired help hut over there, and bring that one back up through, and then go all the way along and have that big stone as an island in the middle. Now, an island in the middle, it is a little bit more of a nuisance than having it on the corner of a few fields, but at the same time, one big field might be better. And then obviously once we start cutting down a whole load of trees and working our way up across to the top, that one I wouldn't have as, like, extending the field again. I would work that as a separate field. We would aim to have it as a separate field, but we have one big field here with a big boulder in the middle. Or I could do the plan where we take a straight line up from the side of the boulder and we have this as an L-shaped field to start with. Something like that. I'm not really sure, so get into the comments section and tell me what you think. Do you think we should run this as one big field? Do you think I should stick with my plan of putting this as two separate fields? This would have been a really good weekly question, I think. Now that I think about it, this would have been a perfect weekly question, but it's a bit late for doing a weekly question. And we are now minus dollars. So we had $145 there while we were using the hired help, and it's now gone to minus 12. So I reckon we're going to use about $300 paying hired help to mow this field here altogether. I know that hired help does use money, but $300 paying someone to mow the whole field, yeah, I know in real life, being paid $300 to do just a tiny little field like this, that's a pretty good rate, actually. If you get a job that's paying you that well, then you want to hold on to it. But, as you know, I don't think that that's actually excessive, considering that we have an entire harvest done in like a day, or 2 days, because we got the slow settings. I don't think that we're doing anything excessive here. I think this actually works in quite nicely with all of it, and I don't think that it's particularly high rates. We're going to be, as soon as it does this other strip up through, I will turn the hired help off, and I'll do I will do that last little triangle myself. I'm going to let it do one more little bit there. Just let it do that little bit, and so we're going to need to put a bit of grass in for our sheep. Oop. There, right, I'll turn the hired help off. We'll put a bit of grass in for our sheep. We're not going to need to pay for that, but if we want to get more water to go into our water tanker, we are going to need money for that. But fortunately, we have a load of silage here that is about to go and make us some money, which is rather fortunate. By a remarkable coincidence. Now, we'll bring that up through this. So I honestly, I'm thinking that we don't need to buy any more sheep now. I think we bought all the sheep that we're going to need to buy. We won't need to worry about buying any more of those. And instead, we can just let the sheep naturally increase in numbers by themselves. I mean, maybe, just to speed things along a bit, we could add in another 20 and push that number up to 60 sheep. But honestly, at the moment, I don't really think we need to. Right, let's put you down there. I don't like having to drop it like that. That is something I've never particularly liked. But if you try and lower it down, it unfolds first, and I don't want to leave it like that. I want to leave it I want to leave it straight. Okay, now we come back and we grab you. We have 4,000 litres, or potentially 4,000. I've got another mod on, which is the vehicle something HUD. I can't remember. Vehicle fruit HUD, I think it's called. I think that's what it is. Right, I'm trying to straighten up my baler a little bit. This is what I don't particularly like about the baler, is that it's very, very poor when it comes to gathering up all the grass. And I have complained about this frequently, and I will continue to do so, which is why I'm seriously considering selling this one and the wrapper, and then buying another, buying the other baler, the other round baler, which sort of is the combo. However, I mean, it does pick it up. It's only the outside round that it gets a bit more of a nuisance. I've now gone and altered the speed on the wrapper. So long as the wrapper does actually work with the altered speed, it would probably be better for us to keep this setup that we've got right now, because I can't alter the speed of the in-game baler wrapper. I'm not able to go and do that. Let's just tip that one out there. And, I mean, I think Stevie may have messed around with it. If Stevie's gone and messed around with it, and he's produced a mod with that baler wrapper, then that one will be faster, because that's one thing that he does with all his mods, is he makes them faster, just to make it a little bit easier, so that when you're doing solo play, you're not kind of waiting for everything all the time. And that is the great thing about a lot of his mods, is the way that he speeds them up and does the increased capacity. He basically does to, I have said this before, mind, he does to his mods what I do to, he does to the base game machinery what I do to just about every mod that I use if I'm ever playing Farming Simulator on my own. Which I don't really do anymore, because I do so much recording of Farming Simulator, I don't really play it that much on my own anymore. But when I used to, that's what I did. I used to put the trailer capacities, combine capacities, overloading speeds. I'd increase absolutely everything up, and it would make a more enjoyable game experience for me, because it would just speed things up. That's all I was doing. I wasn't like doing anything particularly unrealistic, and you could argue that the increased grain capacities on combines and trailers is unrealistic, but all I'm doing there is cutting out some of the trips backwards and forwards to the farm, which when you're doing solo gameplay, it gets a bit tedious after a while. I like doing the different jobs, but I don't want to do each job excessively, and I'd also like to be able to run a big farm. So I kind of used things like increased speeds, increased working field speeds, increased capacities on, not on bales. I didn't alter bale capacity, but I did alter speed of use on just about everything. The speed that the combines and the other machines would run through the fields, and all kinds of stuff like that, just to speed the whole process up and make my life a little bit easier. So most of those I don't consider to be particularly unrealistic. I just consider it to be time efficient. That's how I would class it. I was just working on some time efficiency. Right, we've got 73% in that one. I'm going to just leave this one over here a minute. So we'll turn the baler off, like that. And then we'll unload that one. So now we're going to want to bring some bales back over. We are getting close to the end of this episode. Now it's still a big front weight, isn't it? I don't think it's too excessive. It just seems big because of the shape of the bonnets and everything that we've got on the tractor. And also, we do pull some fairly heavy stuff with this tractor, so I think a big front weight to kind of even things out a bit is not necessarily a bad thing. Now, we'll go over here and we'll pick up what we can of these bales. Bring a few of them back. So I've got pallet forks on it at the moment. Wait, why aren't you... I know what I did. When I went and did the alterations on the tractor over here, I accidentally removed the loader arm. You watch. I'll jump out now and I'll have a look. And we'll go to customize in here. So configuration, I don't want that standard because I want to be able to keep those. So we keep the front hydraulic on there. We've got the engine on here. Yeah, we want to keep that one, the 143. We've got that. That's all standard. And then wheel bracket. Wait. Where's my front loader? Huh? Engine setup. That's 130. 107. Wheel setup. Wide tires, standard configuration, front hydraulic. Hang on a minute. Front loader attacher, yes. And then Configuration. Standard. Front. I had the front. Oh. I get it. When I updated it when I did it last time, we've updated the tractor. Right? Because we've updated the tractor, it's removed my front loader. It's removed the front loader option if you've got the front hydraulics. So I've got to choose between front hydraulics or... I got to choose between having front hydraulics or having a front loader attachment. I can have the front loader attachment. Customize. Yes. But that means I don't have a front weight for my tractor. I can't have a front weight for my tractor if I've got the loader attachment anymore. It's not giving me that as not. They've removed that as an. That's a real. That is a bit of a nuisance. That is, because we do use this is something that we use. It's something that we're going to want. I'm not entirely pleased about that particular update. So, I mean, yes, it was nice that they removed the really excessively loud engine sound. I'm not upset about that, but the other update, that's not so good. That's definitely a step backwards as far as I'm concerned. Still, we'll have to live with it. Maybe we can just, because, well, I do use the front weight. I use the front weight, the front hydraulics quite a bit. I've actually used the front hydraulics to bring stuff back from the shop with the front hydraulics and the loader and other things as well. So now I can't do that. I've literally just got one option now, which is either the front loader or the front hydraulics. I've got to choose between the two. And I don't like that. I don't like that I've got to choose between the two. Right, we will pick up a couple of bales. And we will put these 2 bales in for the sheep. And then once we've done that, we will put the wrapper on very, very quickly. And we will go and do a single test wrap as well. Right, let's grab you. Yeah, we'll drop these in for the sheep. And then we'll go and do a test wrap. And that is all we're going to have time for in today's episode. And I'm very curious about how our test wrap is going to work. We haven't tried it yet. It's going to be quite good to be able to find out if it does actually work. So we'll bring you in around this way, like that. And I'll just drop you down like that. There we go. So 8,000 litres has just gone in there. That's about half. So we're going to want 2 more bales. 2 more bales in for them, and then that one is done. So I'm just going to put the front loader up like that for a minute. And you know what? I'm just going to drop that one right there. Let's do this quickly. We're running out of time. And we want to go over here. So yeah, if you've enjoyed the episode, then please head down below and give us a like. And if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me. Get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. Okay, let's go and grab one of these bales. 2 of these bales we're going to put in for the sheep. And then the rest of them are going to be turned into silage bales. So it shouldn't speed up anything else. It should only speed the wrap speed up. So it puts that one up onto there, which is the same speed that it was before. Wrap speed is faster. That is definitely faster than it was before. Right, so we're not having to wait absolutely ages for it to go through the whole wrap process. And we can bring that one up here, and then we unload it. That unload whole cycle there is all the same as it used to be. $900 a bale. Prices are low at the moment, which is not a great... That's $100 less than we got last time we did this, but it can work. I think we can work with that. I'm going to leave that one off, and then we're going to head down this way, and we're going to start getting some more. But we'll have to finish doing this in our next episode. So until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.